Hello my fellow Retromaniacs and welcome back to Let's Play Activision's Atari 2600 Action Pack for Windows 3.1. So next game is Freeway. Alright, let's see what it has to say. If you think driving on a busy freeway is intense, wait till you try to cross it on foot. In Freeway, your challenge is to guide a chicken across 10 lanes of the most perilous freeway traffic imaginable. Be careful because those speeding cars and trucks don't brake for animals. So before you start the chicken across the road, take a minute to read these instructions. You'll find out how to score points by leading your fearless fowl to safety without getting its feathers ruffled by a semi. Yeah, I think that I actually played this game in a physical console. I remember there was like a video games show, old retro game show, that was like traveling from country to country, and I think it was in Helsinki in maybe around 2004 or something. And yeah, I visited it. I remember playing this game. It was the first time I got to play Atari 2600 in real life. But yeah, this is quite similar to Frogger. Setting a chicken return to curb. Chicken is knocked back one lane. When the game starts, the traffic in the game you've selected begins to move. This motion is accompanied by sounds associated with a typical freeway. The drone of auto and truck engines, the honks from the horns of the vehicles. Each game has its own combination of these sounds. So the chicken get hit, it'll chirp and be knocked back either one lane or all the way back to the beginning. There are 2 minutes and 16 seconds in each game. Yeah. Wait a second. Why 16 seconds? It's like 136. That's not like 8-bit or 7-bit limitation. Yeah, there's no even a button. Usage here, just a D-pad. Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles, even as if you would notice any difference, because there's no scenery, it's just top down. Yeah, I tend to forget that you can like select different modes. It's weird that there's no like button for that in the menu. Okay, let's start the game. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, the Atari 2600 sounds actually work quite well for this one, because they are like dissonant already. traffic jam there. Shit. Damn. Yeah, there's no CPU, unfortunately. Come on. Move your ass. Meter. Damn it. So how many points you need to win? I think 20. Or until the time runs out. It's a two-player game, of course. Yeah, no, maybe the CPU player would have been too difficult to program for Atari 2600. Last seconds. Alright. And then it just stops. No fanfare or anything. Okay, let's try a different mode. Oh, that's great. Whoa. Yeah, it's almost like you have to force brute yourself. Can't even get to the lane here. Okay, 1 point. Jeez. There are a couple of slower, and then it slows down if you fail enough. So it's kind of like adaptive difficulty. But yeah, this is very boring because there's no like challenge. Was there no like player to your opponent? Why is there no like CPU? Well, it says that difficulty for your opponent. Doesn't really. Well, those are going fast. Man. Yeah, it's just, you have to be just lucky. There's a little sort like invincibility. Like you can get through a car. Oh shit. Get up, get up. No. Yeah, you just have to brute force it. Oh yeah, this is boring with no CPU. Okay, let's see the game history. David Crane, one of the earliest video game pioneers, created video games which were often a little bit wacky, and Freeway, the game where the player helps a chicken cross the freeway, is certainly the first one to come to mind. I was at CES, Consumer Electronics Show, and I was riding the shuttle back to the hotel when I saw someone stuck trying to cross Lakeshore Drive. A chicken trying to cross a freeway came to mind. Crane says that the ideas for games were a dime a dozen, and that it was the technical discoveries and achievements that actually made the game. Every game had a special programming technique, whether it was bank switching or whatever. Freeway featured a breakthrough, 2 vertical moving objects, and 24 moving sprites. We also discovered that when we used a grey background, the colors became prettier. They were really better. Just something that we discovered, but it was those technical discoveries that made the game. Also, Crane managed to make a horn sound that was very realistic. Plus, it was the most realistic sound ever made on Atari 2600. It was that sound combined with the colors, innovative programming techniques that allowed all of the moving sprites, and the wacky idea of a chicken not only crossing a road, but a freeway, which helped to make David Crane's Freeway one of the most memorable Activision titles. Right. Try game 1 with difficulty switches set. I'll put it where it can avoid them. You will need to be aware of traffic not only in the lane closest to your chicken, but also in the lanes on either side. Freeway is a game of anticipation and timing. After a while, you'll learn to judge traffic flows and make the right move at the right time. Sometimes that means bravely forging ahead, and other times that will mean sitting back and waiting for just the right opening. As unusual as Freeway is, you still will have to employ some tried and true game skills to do well at it. For instance, you must become familiar with the different traffic patterns in order to anticipate and make the right moves. This is especially difficult in games 5 through 8, where traffic speeds can change instantly. You'll notice that clusters of vehicles in each lane travel at generally the same distance apart at the same speed. If a cluster happens to be in a fast lane, you'll have to plan in advance how you're going to get through without being hit. Succeeding at Freeway will depend on your ability to develop quick reflexes to avoid the traffic and hit the hole at just the right time. Have fun and watch the traffic. Alright. Well, yeah, it's a good game. It's more like more intense than Frogger, but it's still the same idea, kinda. Frostbite, never heard of this game. It's like a snowboarding game. Is that, I don't know what those layers of white diamonds are supposed to mean. Far beyond the Northwest Territory, icebergs crack and the wind chill factor is -40 Fahrenheit. This is the land of Eskimos and igloos, or polar bears and frozen toes. This is the home of Frostbite Bailey, part survivor, part architect, part nuts. He eats raw fish for sustenance, but really dines on danger. He's the guy with ice water running through his veins, a bona fide working class hero. You see, Frostbite builds igloos for a living, ice block to ice block. He jumps high and low, while danger follows every leap. Killer claims, Alaskan king crab, snow geese and big bad bears. Yet Frostbite will not be deterred from the frigid mom through the dead Mom, from the frigid morn through the dead of night, heeding only the call of the wild, he works on and on. Maybe it's the spirit of Perry, or Perry who? Or maybe his brain's gone numb. In any case, he's still there and he'd like you to join him. Frostbite Bailey, building igloos and legends. The object of the game is to help Frostbite Bailey build igloos by jumping on floating blocks of ice. Okay, it's not a snowboarding game. It's more like a Colbert game. Be careful to avoid these deadly hazards. Killer clams, snow geese, Alaskan king crab, grizzly polar bears, and the rapidly dropping temperature. It's interesting that, you know, it's just like different game modes, but they don't like change automatically. Like when you have done game 1, it goes straight to game 3, or in that like the freeway mode. A freeway game, it switch between the modes automatically. Now you have to manually. Oh, wait a second. I take my words back. Regular games start at level 1 or advanced games start at level 5. So I guess when you get level 5, it goes to advanced straight on. So you can just skip levels. Begin the game with 1 active Frostbite Bailey and 3 on reserve. Frostbite works the day shift and the night shift. He must build 4 igloos per shift. Frostbite gets lost each time he falls into the Arctic Sea, gets chased away by polar grizzly, or gets caught outside when the temperature drops to 0. You then lose 1 reserve Frostbite. The game ends when your reserves have exhausted. Or is retired. Left or right, up and down, angle, reverse direction, slow. You are standing on and press the space bar. Remember, each time you do, your igloo will lose a block unless it's completely built. Igloo construction, building codes. Each time Frostbite Bailey jumps onto the white ice flowway, a block is added to the igloo. Once jumped upon, the white ice turns blue. It can still be jumped on, but it won't add points to your score or blocks to your igloo. When all 4 rows are blue, they will turn white again. The igloo is complete when a door appears. Frostbite may then jump into his igloo. Okay, so it's like just touching stuff. Well, let's try it. Oh, it's... Oh, no. Okay, I see. So it's a Frogger type of game. Oh, I need more. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, at least you can keep your... Oh shit, I think I'm... Oh. Just rescued here. Oh, okay. Can I now go in? Okay, good. Alright, well. Now it's getting more harder. Oh shit, oh shit. Damn. Killer whales. Oh, I collected that. Okay. All right. There's some kind of like a reverb you can hear. Shit. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, well, it's all right, I guess. So let's see the game history. Despite being a video game designer for 13 years, Steve Cartwright doesn't really play video games. Cartwright says, "I don't even own a game system. I much prefer golf." While designing his latest game, PGA Tour Golf 486, latest game, when was this interview made? He went to Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and talked with professional golfers. I thought that what they did was so cool. I play golf for fun, and they play video games for fun. So they thought that what I did was cool. Frostbite was Cartwright's last game for the Atari 2600. I think that Frostbite is one of the most playable games that I ever did at Cartwright. Towards the end of the game, things are moving so fast that the player begins reacting on instinct. Back then, things were so new that we were always trying to be different and invent new playing mechanics. We were really just inventing things on the fly, and those basic elements that we came up with are still being used today. Or this is the same thing that was in another interview. In those days, the marketing people were not allowed to see work in progress. We designed a game, and only after it was done did we hand it over to them. After that, it was up to them to come up with a title. Back then, we spent most of our time trying to optimize the code to fit into 4K of ROM and 128 bytes of RAM. Now we spend most of our time trying to judge resources to bring a project in on time and under budget. Cartwright left Activision in 1986 and for 5 years designed computer games for Accolade, a video game company founded by Activision alumni Al Miller and Bob Whitehead. He lives near San Francisco with his wife and is now at Electronic Arts, where he helped to create the Mutant League series and has co-designed NBA Live 95, produced PGA Tour of Golf 46, and is working on the upcoming PGA Tour Golf 96. Okay, so this is quite recent interview when this game was released. His other credits include Activision's Barnstorming Sequest, Megamania, Plague Attack, Hacker 2, and Aliens, as well as Accolade's Fast Break, Search for the King, and Lost in LA. Yeah, even though these games are very simple, you know, if you like bought the game or had it in the 80s, you know, you would have nothing else to play. Obviously, you would play this tens of hours and eventually get very good at it. But I'm not trying to like learn to play them and get better, because I just wanna see and move forward. I'm more interested about these interviews. Okay. Here are my favorite tips for the high scoring. Learn to use the spacebar or joystick button sparingly. The best time to use it is to fake out the bear by throwing it into the middle of the screen and then quickly changing direction. Don't be greedy with the fish. Get them if they happen to come by. However, going out of your way often uses too much time. Another thing, you can move Frostbite barely in mid-air and at the highest level. So you can really hook him around. Check out just how far he'll go. Notice that hazards can only get you when both feet are planted. Therefore, it's possible to jump around hazards since they can't hurt you in mid-air. Now, here's a secret tip I've decided to share. If you jump up onto the extreme left side of the shore, the bear can't get you. It's Frostbite's emergency hideout. Well, I haven't seen the bear. Let's maybe change to is that level. Okay, there's the bear. So what do you say if I go here? Can't get me. Wait, what? There was supposed to be a hide. You jump up onto the extreme left side of the shore. The bear can't get you. What do you mean? Oh, like there. Now I realized. Then I'm kind of like stuck here. Yeah, I'm fucked here. Anyway, let's move to the next game. Yeah, those sound effects of 2600 are just iconic. They're so loud. Grand Prix. You're about to enter the race of your life. Nothing stands between you and victory except the clock, the road, and other drivers outbeat you to the finish line. So take a little time with these instructions and you may emerge as the Grand Prix world record holder. Now this is pod racing. Object of the game is to complete a race circuit in the shortest possible time. Okay, so it's not looping forever. It's not like pole position. No difficulty switches. Oh, several different options with Grand Prix. Watkins Glen, Brands Hatch, Le Mans, and Monaco. Huh. They're really following the layout of those. I'm gonna check Monaco. The spacebar is your accelerator. Press it to accelerate your racer. Shifting is automatic. The longer you hold the spacebar down, the faster your racer will go until it reaches top speed. Releasing the spacebar will slow down your racer. To apply the brakes, press the left arrow key. Pressing the up arrow key moves your racer towards the top of the track, pressing down towards the bottom. Okay, simple enough. So this is supposed to be Monaco. I don't know what this. How is this supposed to be? Monaco is just straight line. Shit. I think Atari 2600, it can do quite nice engine sounds. Whoa. Yeah, those crash effects are quite violent. It goes like red. Shit. Oh, okay. Yeah, if this was Monaco, there should be a tunnel. Maybe that was the tunnel. Yeah, I think those cars are super clipping because they are going so fast, so slow. Blue flags, white flag. So is this supposed to be qualifying or a race? Yeah, this might be like a Cadillac because they are so slow. They're like almost dangerously slow. There's gonna be some big crashes. How long is this track? Monaco is quite short track. This is taking, it's like Spa-Francorchamps level. Yeah, I think I enjoy pole position better. Oh shit! I'm stuck in here. Stuck inside of him. They could have been like added some like turns, or I don't know. It's maybe too much required to have like turns, because you can only like go up or down or left or right. You can't like rotate. And but yeah, this is not that great. If there was like damage or like pit or like lap counter or pit stops, that would be nice. But it's just like doing one hot lap. 3 minutes and 26 seconds. What the fuck? I think you should be able to finish Monaco lap even while going 50 kilometers per hour in less time. Okay, let's read the history. David Crane, one of the founders of Activision, remembers the innovation of Grand Prix. First of all, Grand Prix featured the first full-color shaped objects for the Atari 2600. Also, it's like early title. But the innovations didn't stop there. Crane remembers, we were innovators. 6-digit scores? No one was doing that. Sunsets and shading, the word Activision with the rainbow. It was considered to be impossible to do those things before we came along. Jay Miner, the designer of the 2600 chip, saw our games and said, I didn't know it could do that. We were insane back then. The lengths that we would go for perfection was crazy. Yeah, and the only thing you could accomplish is a kind of crappy racing game. But you know, you have to judge these, like comparing them to like Pong. So if you compare this to Pong, which was black and white, obviously this is something else completely new and cool. And on home console, you know, obviously on on arcades you could have already like 8-bit, almost like 16-bit styled graphics, but you know, you couldn't expect same on a home console. But Activision wasn't only an innovator in video games, but also in business management, especially as the company grew. We realized that we had a group system and that we wanted to expand in groups, not just hire more people. And so, with the kitchens, Alex DeMio and John Van Ryzen in New Jersey, we had a ready-made design group. Eventually, we had 2 groups in the San Francisco Bay Area, one in Sacramento, one in Pasadena, one in Boston, and one in New Jersey, each with 4 or 5 designers. That system worked very well. Many years later, it comes out that a group structure is the hottest thing in corporate management. And there we were doing the exact same thing back in the early 1980s. Yeah, I wonder, like, were these 5 or 4 designers, were they making the games completely themselves, or did they have like employees or assistants or like working people who made the boring and tedious stuff? So was there any like any people working under them and not getting credited because of only these guys got credits? One of the most important things, though, about Activision isn't the technical and corporate innovations, but it's the fact that Activision was the first third-party software company. Says Crane, we blew the industry wide open. Atari and Mattel, they had monopolies. We became the first third-party software company. At the same time, though, we became the razor blades for other people's razors. From the outside, it looked as we were just making easy money. I remember that in 1984, in the span between one consumer electronics show and another 6 months, over 30 companies were formed. They all became our competition, and it was Activision's continued innovation that helped the company to prosper despite the immense competition. So what happened to Activision? I think was it bought by EA? It's Activision Blizzard. Microsoft acquired patent company Activision Blizzard. A holding company merged with Vivendi Games. Yeah, I think there's been lots of like different changes. In the 90s already. In the 80s already. So it's difficult to say who owned and what Activision owned. But yeah, in the like 90s, they were behind the Quake, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and in 2000s Call of Duty, and Doom 3 and Wolfenstein. So yeah, lots of great IP. some of that has been lost. But yeah, Call of Duty must be the biggest one. Biggest IP they have. Alright. Oh, what did I press? Okay, let's see the hints. We suggest you to take it easy at first. A couple of slow practice runs through the courses will help you get the feel of the track. You'll find that just as in real racing, the faster your car is going, the easier it will be to lose control. That's why pacing is so important. Try to think ahead and anticipate what's coming up. But there's no like curves or anything, so what do you mean feel of the track? There's absolutely nothing to feel or nothing that differs between the tracks. Just the different pattern of the enemy cars or computer cars. If you pass another car, you'll almost never have to worry about it catching up with you from the rear. So keep your eyes on the road ahead. That's where the action will be. Just as in real Grand Prix race, feel and control are very important in Grand Prix. The better you know your car and its responses, the better you'll do. Like this tuning and any settings. Nope. When steering in the car up and down the track, applying a slight pressure to the right of the joystick will eliminate any accidental braking. This pressure must be kept light to allow quick braking in the events of an emergency. Like what? The more you play the game, the more keenly you'll anticipate the appearance of other cars. To some extent, you'll be able to memorize the traffic patterns and plan moves in advance. If you don't, the slowdown will happen for you in the form of a crash, and you'll pay for it with a loss of valuable time. The cars ahead of you have left a lot of oil on the track near the bridges, so when you see a lot of oil slicks, watch for bridges ahead. Knowledge of the course is very important. Learn where you are and what's coming up ahead for each course. That way, time is on your side, which is exactly where you want it to be. But the tracks are identical. Let's try a different track. This is supposed to be Brands Hatch. Yeah, I don't really recognize Brands Hatch here. Is it always the same? Is it always the same cars? So, yeah, there's a red one and a blue one. And in here it's a red one and a blue one. It's always the same cars in the same position, so you can kind of like memorize them if you want. Well, you probably automatically memorize them if you play this for months, because you don't have anything else to play. Okay, Hero. Okay, I don't recognize this game. What am I looking at? At these buildings. What is this? Roderick Hero, at your service. Please call me our hero. Everyone does. I wish to address myself to fledgling heroes and all-around good guys everywhere. A crisis is afoot, affording me an ideal opportunity to share a few of the finer points of heroic endeavor with you. Do pay attention. Volcanic activity has trapped miners in mine shafts in Mount Leon. I shall use equipment, something rather nifty, of my own invention to help miners no mere mortal can reach. It would give me great pleasure to have you help. The objective of this undertaking is to rescue all the miners possible before running out of lives. To follow these simple instructions. That's a good fellow. Designate one's controller type. Note how yours truly hovers in a mine shaft, ready to go once the power cord turns completely yellow. One need only press an arrow key to begin. Five one-player games options. The higher the game number, the deeper within the mine one begins, and the more advanced the challenge. Random. Word Pro appears after level 20. I embark with 4. It's funny how this, like, how to play has like different kinds of style. This is like the dude character in the game explaining to you how to play. I embark with 4 opportunities. Very well then. Lives. 1 in use. 3 in reserve. 1 hears and sees the power course. We'll catch at the start of each level. Power begins to diminish when an arrow key is pressed. At the beginning of each level after the reserve life is used. To run or fly left or right, to fly up. To hover, tap the joystick forward. To land, to press the arrow key. To fire. To place an ignite dynamite, pull the joystick back when standing near the wall. What are you talking about? So using keyboard, and here it says pull the joystick back. I didn't even proofread this one. There are some must-haves for the rescuing that know. Prop back, my greatest inspiration, to which I'm very attached. This propeller back allows me one to fly where one wishes. The helmet comes with equipment, micro laser beam with you can blast while worming. You can also slice. How do you change between weapons? 6 sticks of dynamite is which can demo a small wall land and move near a wall and then place like the dynamite. Move faster or I'll blow up. Our hero, cannot stress this enough. Raft floats on a certain stretch of lava river. It seems very complex for 2600 game. One should make it a point to be as familiar with the details of rescue operation as with guests in one's home. To wit, mine shaft extends vertically and horizontally deep into Mount Leon. Some dead end, others are blocked by walls. Some walls and surfaces glow red. These contain magma. Is this a scrolling game? I don't think Atari 26 can do scrolling. Except in Pitfall type of way, so one screen at a time. So maybe it's using that. Oh yes, before I forget, Landers light these murky mine shafts. Touch and or shoot one and that section of the mine will go dark. Most unpleasant. To fly down a shaft, step off the ledge. Gravity does the rest. Hello hazards. Spring spiders, shaft bats, mine moths, and nesting snakes. Huh. How long can one go? One must locate a miner on each level before moving lower in the mine. The deeper one goes, the faster things move, the more dangerous. So should I like just touch the miner? That's or whatever. This is very complex, at least by what you get from the instruction. Okay. Oh yeah, it's not configured. I have to go here. What the hell? Oh, okay, you press down. You can break blocks. Oh, okay. Complex. I see. And down. Spider. You have to be very quick. Oh, this is great. It's like an adventure game. Very advanced. Oh, shit. Touch the lantern. Let's go this way, this way. Oh, shit. How did I know? How should I know? It's like trial and error type of game. You know, you have to know which passage to take. But yeah, it's very advanced for Atari 2600 to have that complex level design. You could even consider that kind of like a dungeon crawler or Metroid, first Metroid game. I guess maybe they needed to got ideas from Hero. John Van Rysen joined Activision in 1982 along with Dan and Gary Kitchen when Activision opened up a New Jersey development office for the three designers who didn't want to move to California. The trio had worked at two other companies in the New Jersey area before impressing Activision with their game designing abilities. The idea for Hero came from a weekend outing. I went out and visited this cave, Hove Caverns, in upstate New York. It's an enormous cave system that this farmer found in his backyard. Then I came up with the idea of having a game about a cave. After I had the setting, I just came up with a superhero. The greatest challenge in designing the game was always the same: what you want to do versus what the system can do. Actually though, the game totally turned out the way I imagined. I was quite surprised. The only problem was that the Atari 2600 just couldn't make it look like a cave. All of the walls were straight and vertical or perfectly horizontal. So I just changed the storyline. I made it a mine instead of a cave. That way it explained the man-made look. Despite the technical limitations, Van Rysen fondly misses the old video game days. Back then, it was simple. One person designed a game and you could sell 1 million copies. Now you have these teams. It's more like a bunch of people making a movie rather than one person writing a novel. But Activision, Van Rysen explains, was designer's nirvana. To me, it was like a fantasy job. They told us, you have an idea for a game, then go off and go do it. Don't come back until it's good. There were no deadlines, no schedules, just you trying to make something fun. Okay, but Like if you didn't come up with a good game, you probably were fired. And how much they paid for you is just a employee, and if it would sell 1 million copies, Activision would take all the money, and you were just paid for a monthly sum. I don't know how's the copyright in video games. Obviously nowadays, because there's like hundreds of people making a game together, you know, they can't get a certain share of the selling. That would be quite unfair, and it wouldn't even cut the cost. Horizon followed Hero with Activision's Cosmic Commuter for the Atari 2600 and then Fireworks Construction Kit for the Commodore 68. He left Activision in 1986 when he co-founded Absolute Entertainment video game company. It was also founded by other Activision alumni Alex DeMille and Dan and Gary Kitchen, but he says that he still enjoys designing and programming video games. He is now a freelance game designer. Some of his recent works include heavy shredding and Space Shuttle Project for the Nintendo, as well as race driving for the Super Nintendo and Ren and Stimpy videos for the Game Boy. Well, those are not, at least the Ren and Stimpy is quite horrible game, and race driving, that's just a port. So yeah, I think the glory days happened in Activision for them. Obviously, I don't know what they did in late 90s or 2000s, because the story stops for 1995 and 1996. So yeah, maybe there's probably like a modern Atari 2600 collections that like update the information about the people, what they did like in 2010s and onwards, or whether they're still alive. Yeah. Okay, the mine shafts of Mount Leon present many challenges to a rescuer. I recommend you watch the opening sequence before playing the game. It'll give you a feel for the terrain and help you recognize some of the dangers ahead. What the opening sequence. Also, the more you play, the better you learn your way around the different mine shafts. Since speed in location miners earns you more points, you'll want to move as quickly as efficiently as possible. Here are a few tips. The dynamite our hero carries is potent. It doesn't need to be right next to a wall in order to blow it up. If our hero runs out of dynamite, he can burn through the walls with his microplacer beam. The closer he stands to the wall, the faster he'll break through. If a lantern goes out, find mine shafts by looking at the rough edges along the bottom of the screen. When flying above the river, right the ceiling by going up as well as to the left or right. Right rafts whenever possible, since it's easier than trying to go under a lava ceiling. A word about tentacles. They don't move too fast, so try to outrun them. Hope that helps some. You'll discover your own techniques as you plumb the depths of the mine. Let's try some other level. Okay, so I can use the laser still. What the hell happened there? Oh, you can't even touch them, these. It's nice that it allows you to continue. Fuck. lava everywhere. How am I supposed to get back through this one? Excuse you. I can't fly enough. I guess I have to go this way. Yeah, the flying mechanics is a little bit hard to perform. Oh, that's asshole design. Oh, it's like Mega Man. What happened there? Oh, I died because of the power. You have to be very quick. Ah, wasn't too quick. Well, it's definitely the most complex and interesting game so far. The others have been just like one screen, only action, but this has all kinds of like gimmicks and different rooms, and it reminds me a lot of Metroid and Mega Man, so well done. And lastly, for this stream, I will check out Kaboom. This is obviously a classic game that needs no introduction. Let's play it a little bit. Obviously, you want to have very well calibrated and quick controls for this one. I think the best is actually play with your mouse on Stella, but I don't know how well this plays, because if maybe it's not fast enough, or you can actually play with mouse. That's great. Well, thank you. Actually, I have to move my I was playing on a sofa. Let's go straight to the table. Oh shit. Yeah, this mouse is not entirely it jitters. It's not entirely calibrated for DOSBox. Yeah, I wonder how the joystick option would do. Oh, that's yeah, it centers to the center automatically. Oh, yeah, that's very difficult to do, and it's not calibrated even correctly here. So yeah, I think mouse is. It's a good thing that they allow to play with a mouse. Okay, let's try again. Okay, I think I can. This next one is gonna blow already. It's not just smooth enough to have precise movement. The movement is very like unpredictable here. I can't do like smooth movement. Excuses for sure. But yeah, you really want the original controller to play this one, because the original joystick is very responsive. Okay, let's see what they has to say. Prepare yourself for a supreme test of reflexes, coordination, and agility. You're about to face the world's most unpredictable and relentless mad bomber. He hates losing as much as you love winning. So, to keep him frowning, take a minute to read over these instructions. Then, grab your pockets and bombs away. Okay, half size makes the more difficult. Turn-based mode. It's a very simple game. You know, it's almost like Pong level easiness to understand. All right. History. Larry Kaplan was always known as the hardcore game player at Activision. Everyone talks about his love of games and renowned hand-eye coordination. Kaplan was one of the first game designers at Atari, where he designed such games as Air-Sea Battle, Brain Games, and Bowling. We would sit in a lab and we would play games, says Kaplan. That was the best part. We'd play the games, find bugs, and challenge each other. Being a game designer is the weirdest life. You think that it was going to last forever? But of course, nothing lasts forever. One day it was like, my God, they're over. And we all spent the rest of our lives trying to recreate those days. You can't just go out and just do a game anymore. We used to spend so much of our time on gameplay, and today's games seem to put too much emphasis on graphics and sound. In the gameplay, that makes a game fun. Sometimes they forget that. And no other game is as perfect example of superior gameplay than Kaboom. Its super simple, maddeningly addictive gameplay is rivaled only by Tetris. Well said. Yeah, I think these days there's like, I think there's still too much emphasis on graphics and sound, and that's one of the reasons that games are so expensive to make, and many companies don't take any risks because it's just too expensive to make modern photorealistic games. But yeah, luckily there's much of like indie and homebrew games that don't care really about the graphics. They can look as crude or even be black and white, or just lines or dots on the screen, So I think we have done a whole circle and come back to the age of Atari 2600, where the graphics are no longer that important, at least on like India or homebrew games. Obviously you couldn't release this kind of game on a PS5, but you know, that's another thing. And a good thing is that, you know, these days there's no limitation, you know, for if you want to make a game of your dreams, you can make it. There's all kinds of tools to make it, and the graphics allow everything to be just as you want. You know, that in 1980s it was always the limitation that forced the game to be what they were. Like that example in the hero that you know, he couldn't make the game look like you're in cave. So yeah, it just limits your imagination. The 2600 is one of those miracles. It was completely serendipitous, pure coincidence that everything happened the way it did. It was the perfect machine. It was very simple, but allowed for great games. In those days, we did everything. We set up booths at conventions. We did the sound and graphics. We talked with the salespeople. We did everything. Once a programmer, always a programmer, says Kaplan, who left Activision in 1982 for stints at Amiga, Atari, Silicon Graphics, and Worlds of Wonder, the company that did the Teddy Ruxpin toy. He's now at Microunity, a company that specializes in semiconductors for high-speed computers. He lives in Los Altos, California, with his wife, 3 boys, and 10 game systems. When designing games, he says, it's most important to have fun. Yeah. What hints we got? There's a method to this madness, and the more you play, the more you'll see it. Bombs fall a certain way, but don't try to aim and line up your buckets under each bomb. Instead, try to get a feeling for the bomb's pattern that develop. After a while, you'll be able to anticipate where bombs will fall. That's when you can get the jump on the mad bomber. To do well in Kaboom, you'll need all the reflexes, endurance, and concentration you can muster. Don't be frustrated if things don't go well at first. It takes a fair amount of practice, especially to catch the bombs at higher speeds. You'll notice that you'll be improving in stages. The first plateau is the 1000 point mark. Mastery at bomb groups 5 and 6 is necessary to do well here. Conquering bomb group 7 will place you at the 2000 point level. As you develop the stamina and concentration needed to progress, you'll conquer bomb group 8. From then on, it's a matter of fine-tuning your skills and extending your endurance to improve your score. Yeah, there's talk about skills, but I still think that the controller is quite important. You know, I try to play that. If I try to play that with the joystick or keyboard, there would be no chance of getting to level 3 even, because it's just impossible. Because if it's not calibrated well enough, you can't even move fast enough to get all those bombs. If you hit the 10,000 point level, that really impresses the Mad Bomber, and he'll show his appreciation. Watch for it. Yeah, I think there's some kind of animation. Maybe he removes his mask. Here's one special trick we have discovered to help build up your score while maintaining some control of the game. If you have all 3 pockets and you're just about to cross 1,000 point level, miss one of the bombs on purpose, you will lose your bottom pocket, but you will start over at the next lower difficult level, and that'll give you a few bombs to catch at a slower speed. Then after you've gone over the 1000 point level, you will get your pocket back anyway, so you haven't lost a thing. Since you will be playing for a while at a slower speed, it gives you a breather, but keeps you in the game. Okay, let me try once more. If you really become good at Kaboom, try it with difficulties with set A. Since the buckets are only half the regular size, you really have to be quick. Well, let's try that. Wait a second, this is the 2-player mode. It's there you go. Oh yeah, this is impossible. Look at how much my mouse is like twitching. It's not even staying in still. Yeah, 1000, it's just impossible. Okay. So yeah, that's all for now. I will play the last 5 games in some time later. So thanks for watching. I'll see you then. Bye bye.